Hey folks, welcome to the channel, and in this case I'd like to talk about something that I believe is fairly common, this idea that your opinion really matters, which it does. Your opinion matters, my opinion matters as well, but what matters a lot, and I mean a lot more when doing objective analysis of reality for purposes of survival and preparedness is facts. It's data, it's numbers, it's large-scale information. That's what matters the most. Of course, your own personal bias, means something for you. Your own personal circumstances, your own personal limitations or advantages, or all of that matters, but it needs to be understood within the context of it is just you. It is just me. And that's just one sample. And in the bigger picture, it matters very little or nothing at all. Guys, as always, welcome to the channel. If you want to learn more about realistic preparedness and survival, which is what I try to do here, you have a ton of information in the channel. You have my books as well, Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse, and Giving Everything Going On in the World. You really want to get this one too, Bugging Out and Relocating. My least sold book by far, and when I published it, I knew why that would be. People are not comfortable with this idea. I was talking with my brother. Actually, this morning I was explaining that we're a very small community. The survival preparedness authors that are it's a small group. And talking with some of them, we realize certain things we all notice. In terms of what people want to hear, it's not always what they should be doing. And this is the perfect example. No one wants to even consider the idea of, dude, you really have to go. But my house is not burning down. No, it's not. Your house is not burning down. A flood has not destroyed your house, but you probably should get elsewhere. The case in point of UK. It is not a viable country anymore. And objectively speaking, your situation may be better or worse. That's fine and good. But on a large scale situation, I'd say no. I'd say it's not viable. This is just my opinion. Maybe you are a multi-millionaire, knighted, influence person of the fucking, I don't know, man. If that's your case, then just whatever I say means nothing to you. That's fine. Now, if you're a normal-ass human being, if you're any average Joe or average mate, you probably want to listen to what I say regarding these things. I've been doing this for a very long time. And a perfect example is just a little discussion that came in my Spanish channel. Keep in mind, I do this in English and Spanish. I don't have a lot of spare time. Fortunately, this is not just my profession. This is my obsession. I do this all day long. I was talking with my wife. I've been sleeping sometimes 4-5 hours a day. I have my brain connected to this thing, and it's constantly processing information and trying to reach the impossible, which is everything you need to do in terms of preparedness and survival. It's just an impossible task, but still, I find it to be fascinating and, yes, borderline clinical obsessed. But in this point, it's the Glock pistol. Right, the Glock pistol, the new Glock Gen 6 that I did a video about. I mean, everyone has done their own version of this, just pointing out the interesting things that they've changed, and there's not massive changes, still very much a Glock, but hey, let's talk about that. That's perfectly fine. But I came across a comment from someone in my Spanish channel saying, you know what, the Glock is not even the best. It's been surpassed many years now by other manufacturers, in case in point ZZP-10. The ZZP-10 is much better. You don't have to pull the trigger when you disassemble it, and this and that. The frame does not bend when you press it. It's a lot softer in the Glock, and that's great. But he said a couple of things. He said, in your opinion, the Glock is the best. In my opinion, and that's the point. It's not my opinion. It's not that the Glock is the best because I say so or I think it is. The Glock is the best pistol for military and police because that's what numbers say in terms of its success rate and in terms of how widely it's been adopted. There's no question that the Glock, and James Yeager, may he rest in peace, used to say all pistols should be Glocks, all Glocks should be 9mm. Heck, he was right. I like other guns too. I have other guns. I don't have that many guns. I've narrowed down my collection to be a snobby elitist jerk, basically. But yeah, I like different guns. I appreciate. I cannot have all of them. So, and I got rid of the things that were not like, this is the shit for me. I love this thing, right? Anything else that was not top in my list of obsessive mentality. Probably got but there is something to be said about that. The thing is, it's not. Let's take that example, ZZP10. ZZP10C, the compact version, basically like your Glock 19, right? So ZZP10, 217 introduced, development began in 2014, great. I mean, ZZ is it? Czech Republic. All right, so Zeskas, ZZ. These guys have been making guns for a long time. ZZ, the 75 model is, famously a great gun. In fact, yeah, it's one of the better ever made double action semi-automatic pistols. Famous, actually. So we're talking about a manufacturer has made, there you go, ZZ75, one of the most legendary Wonder 9s of its era, and definitely a gun that's been adopted. It's been extremely successful over the years, cloned all over the place. I mean, it is widely adopted, well-earned reputation for a semi-automatic. Now, this is much better than a Glock. Is it, though? Is the ZZP10 and the ZZP10C much better than the Glock? The pistol is direct competitor of the Glock. I mean, it could be, but the numbers don't say that. The numbers say that this gun has been adopted by military police of federal district in Brazil, and no one else, a bunch of countries, no one else has adopted this pistol. That already tells you how widespread adoption it has had so far. So is it really the best pistol ever and much better than the Glock? I mean, the numbers don't say that in terms of its adoption, but it could be that everyone is stupid and they just don't see it. Then you see this failed bids. The French, which you can say whatever you want about the French. The French will never screw up like the United States did with the adoption of the SIG P320. That was embarrassingly bad and mostly linked to an important amount of corruption. I have no doubt about that. No one is that stupid, even in the U.S. military. So, no. But the French, as whatever you may want to say about the French armed forces adopted in 2020 prefer the 5th generation Glock 17 over the HS2000 and the ZZP10 offerings that also made it to the final selection phase to replace their MAC-ML 950 and to a lesser extent the Pamazarara, basically a Beretta 92, right? So the French went with the Glock, and I don't have $10 million to do the testing that these guys probably did. I don't have the money that the U.S. military did for their own testing when they chose, in their wisdom, the SIG P320 that fires on its own when dropped. A design that even, I'm not going to say even a child, but I could have told you just watching the design, the internal. I don't even have to get out of my fucking damn seat here to see the schematics of how the gun is working. It's a single action striker fired gun. What are you talking about? Where is the safety in that? Oh no, it's super safe. Really? Yeah, unless you drop it or you bump it against something or you move it. Dude, it's a single action striker fired pistol that is constantly cocked. What are you doing? No, but the one that has a safety. Okay, still, it is stupid. What you did is stupid, but more likely it was corruption. Now, in other places, like in France, we're going with a Glock. We go with a Glock. Okay, great for you. What about the British? The British also went with the Glock. And the British, again, you can say whatever you want about them. They are fairly traditional people. They don't make big changes. The previous pistol they changed. Dude, you went from the high power to the Glock. Talk about having your shit together. You went with the best pistol of its era, the Browning high power 9mm, which was actually perfected by Dieudonné Sivin, the Belgian French guy that did the FAL. That is, he's not John Moses Browning, but goddamn, you made some interesting designs. You are a freaking genius. So a genius design in the high power, the Browning high power, right? And yes, Browning died before the design was completed, and the guy that finished, especially this part of the design of the pistol, is the guy that made the FAL. Legendary firearm, if there ever was one. You went from a high power to a Glock. Dude, based. That is that is as solid as anyone can get. But these are the things you have to consider when you make your own decisions, right? When you go, that's why at the end of the day, it's not me using the Glock for most of my adult life using guns and just focusing on that, because I don't really matter. I mean, I'm just an average shot guy that just does this for a living, right? But in terms of what have you won? What tournaments? No. But I do know this sort of thing. I do know these kind of analysis, and it doesn't matter how good you are. Even if you're the best shot in the fucking planet, it doesn't matter. I'm the national champion, I'm the world champion, and I'm the you won everything there is to be won, okay, in shooting, and you're also special forces with the most kill, whatever the hell you want, and you say that the CZ-P10 is the best pistol in the planet. It does not matter. You may be the best. Your opinion is based on something that has no foundation in terms of track record, reliability, adoption, successful adoption over the years by an overwhelming number of agencies, military and police. That's what you go for when you look at saying, yeah, this is the most successful design so far. I mean, at a point, the most successful design was the one there on the right. That was the best semi-automatic pistol a human being could carry for a long-ass time. Some people will argue the 1911. No. The guy that died designing this thing, he knew guns, he knew what he was doing, but beyond that, beyond the genius of the individual, may that be John Moses Browning or Gaston Glock, how successful was it in terms of adoption, in terms of overwhelming positive track record for everyone that ever used it? I challenge you to find someone with a solid argument against, no, the Glock sucks because it's just your personal opinion, man. And your personal opinion, when objectively analyzing reality, it just matters very little. Guys, that's what I do for everything. I cannot explain how much time it takes to do this. It is frustrating because there's simply not enough time to do everything I would like to do and go as deep on every other aspect of preparedness and survival, right? This is fairly easy to reach the conclusion of, oh, yeah, am I an idiot? Why would I adopt something that no one else adopted when clearly everyone and hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent in testing, and the result is overwhelmingly go with this, because the entire freaking planet has concluded it was the smartest decision. Why would I go with anything else when everyone else that could afford it, Africa being the only exception here, why would I go with trying to reinvent the wheel? No, I go with what all special forces apparently use. Oh, but in this country they use it. Yeah, those are exceptions, but the norm is that. Okay, guys, I hope I explained, not only in the case of the Glock pistol, why it's clearly the superior option compared to pretty much anything else, in spite of your... Now, you know what? Everything that I just said is all bullshit, because I'm not strong enough to handle a semi-automatic. Okay, then again, it's not an objective. It's not a me thing. It's an objective reality thing. If I use that gadget that's over there that measures my grip strength, and if my grip strength is inferior to that of the average, in fact, if I'm in the lower 20, 30 percentile strength, then maybe I'm not strong enough to handle reliably a semi-automatic pistol at all. Doesn't matter if it's a Glock. In that case, maybe I just go with a revolver. For my specific situation, the Glock, even though it's obviously the best choice for the entire planet, it's not the best option for me. That also needs to be taken into account. But confusing my own preferences and my own life and my own specific situation with what should be applied to everyone, that's a big mistake. You need to do both. You need to analyze the information available on the macro and then go, okay, what about me? What is it but I don't like the way it looks. Like one guy told me, I am really a fan of the Beretta 92 because of Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon. Dude, okay, that's not really much of an objective analysis that you're doing. You're just going for what you saw in movies and what you like. You do you. That is really not the kind of thing you should base your important decisions on the tools you're using. But hey, life is short. Do whatever. Have a good day. Guys, it's going to be all for now. Subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Have an awesome day. See you next time.